I'm going to talk about very inexpensive, very small portable rulers to carry as EDC. These three are some that I got recently from AliExpress. The first one is a bit of like a keychain. It has 4 centimeters, very clear numbers. It has a shiny polish. It's about thick, about less than 2 millimeters, probably 1.5, and it's sturdy enough that can probably do some sort of private duties. But it is sold as a ruler. Very simple, very inexpensive. These are about $1 or so. So I think this is nice to carry in a keychain, especially now that some multi-tools starts to not have rulers on them, such as the Leatherman Alpha. The other one, it looked interesting. It's of some sort of lightweight material. It doesn't weigh as much as you would think, and I thought it could be a serrated knife of some sort, but these edges are not sharp at all, and the numbers are a little thick still, probably very readable, but each mark is relatively thick, so it doesn't, I don't know if that will give you too much precision. Still, it's very good. As well, this can probably work as a scraper for a secondary use, because it is somewhat sturdy. So that's another sort of a keychain thing you can have as a ruler, and then a secondary use, maybe scraper. This may fit into the photography screws that sometimes you use a quarter to open them. So there may be a couple of alternative use. I guess if you sharpen a side, this could become a sort of a cutting instrument, but as it is, it's relatively long. You have 5 centimeters, so that's a good distance to measure. Very lightweight, and I think this must be aluminum, I would think. Also very inexpensive. The third one, the ruler is not the main function. It does have a very faint engraving there, probably laser engraved. But moreover, this has a Phillips screwdriver and a flat head, and this has a little plate that I think it's meant to be engraved with a custom like phone number or message. These screws, they come off if you use a very tiny Phillips screwdriver. I thought maybe this would be hollow and you can store something inside, but when I remove this plate, there is not too much of a recess, very little indentation. But still, maybe there is a use for this little plate. Maybe you can have it removable and then use for some privar or something. I don't know. I thought it was interesting. I think it was slightly more than this. Maybe if this were like $1, this is like $2.50. Still very cheap, and it's a lot of functions for how cheap it is. This ruler, I don't think I like it too much because it's very hard to read. You may need to have the exact light and the exact use glasses or something. So in any case, this was more functional for the other tools. Still in that EDC very cheap range, and these are some older ones. This is a titanium privar, has a pretty neat ruler, very crisp engraving, and these are very thin lines, so you can even see fractions of a millimeter. You can see if something is in between 2 lines or not. So I think this will make for a nice ruler for small things, just like fittings. They didn't put the numbers here, but you just can count 0, 1, 2, 3. So I think it was probably a good idea to just keep it simple that way. This is also a Phillips hexagonal bit driver and privar, and this may be kind of like a little nail puller, and you also have the bottle opener. This works well with a Leatherman double-sided bit. That will give you a lot of power. Actually, I made a small short video with this and the song about Sheer and him and I Got the Power, and people like it. Maybe it's just because of the song. In any case, another ruler. The Koyu foldable scissors have a ruler which I use. I carry these every day, and these are travel safe. I happen to travel by airplane carrying these, and they have not been confiscated, but it could happen. So in that case, I will recommend to purchase several and get some of these get lost or confiscated. But in theory, scissors are allowed in flights, so that's a very good thing. And then another ruler that's very minimalist and easy to carry are these plastic cards that have a magnifying glass. So it's a Fresnel lens, so it's very thin. The magnification is just by the pattern that is engraved. This one is a little worn out, but this also has really crisp markings. The lines are very thin, so you can basically see if something is exactly a certain size or if it's a little more or less. So I think it's really good for measuring. Let me see if I can do an example here. So you can see that this is more than 5 the distance. So it's really good. You have inches too, fairly and decent amount of length. This could go in it's a little big for a wallet, so it carries in a little pouch. The other thing is, being a magnifier, in theory you could concentrate light and use it as a fire starting element during the day, so it takes hardly any space and weight. So I like those things are very minimalist. This thin multi-tool without ruler. Some viewers suggested that if we would make these teeth of a well-defined distance, you could use that as a ruler. So I think that's a great idea. Maybe next versions will do it. So, but the things I recommend the most here is this type of device, very small for a keyring, and you have a lot of functions. The screwdrivers, and then I don't know. This one is kind of nice with all the polish. It's almost like a mirror. If you were to polish this more, you see the reflection there. It's not a perfect mirror, but if you were to polish it, you could have a mirror to some small usage, a small mirror, or also you can look behind yourself to see if somebody's following you. Like they said in some books about detectives, when I was little, they had these little tricks. So one was to use a tiny mirror to look behind. I think there were some like novelty glasses that had a mirror to see if somebody's following you, which is kind of gimmicky and just for kids, but still kind of fun. So anyway, I recommend this because they're cheap, take a little space and give you some utility to when you're around. And this one is kind of more, almost could be a survival tool with the capacity of having a lens in zero space. Thank you for watching.